Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, we're going to be doing a video talking about some of the drugstore makeup that I've been really reaching for and loving lately. This isn't all of my drugstore favorites, but these are just the ones that I have been just using a lot recently and I just haven't really talked about. I thought I would mention them in a video. So yeah, also don't mind my shirt. I'm just wearing my pajama shirt because I really didn't feel like putting on a nice shirt, so don't mind that. But yeah, make sure to subscribe down below, give this video a thumbs up if you do enjoy it, and if you want to see some of my drugstore favorites, then just keep on watching. So the first thing is actually a tool, and I don't know if I feel like I don't really talk about brushes and sponges a lot on my channel. I'll mention what I'm using, but I really don't talk about like some of the ones I've been loving. So if there's two things that you don't need to spend a lot of money on and that you can get great, if not better than the ones at Sephora or something, is drugstore mascaras and drugstore sponges. Like a few years ago, I feel like it just used to be the beauty blender or like the little, what were they called? Like the little white sponges. That's like pretty much all you could find. But now there's so many great drugstore sponges out there that you don't have to pay $20 for just a sponge that you're gonna probably throw away in a few months anyway. So one of the favorites that I have loved for honestly a while now, and pretty much I just like love their sponges in general. So this is the e.l.f. Total Face Sponge. I like their which one is it? Where it's kind of like a teardrop shape in a way, and then it comes to like a round at the bottom. I like that one. I've heard the camo sponge by them is like really good, but the main reason that I keep picking up the Total Face Sponge is because I love it. It's super bouncy, so it's not like hard or anything. It's just really nice and soft, and you can get two for like, I want to say it's like $8. I could be wrong. So you can get two of them for like the price of one. So really great affordable option, and these work so nice. Mine is super dirty, but I love e.l.f. sponges. I like L'Oreal's face sponges. You don't need to buy a beauty blender because a drugstore has got you covered. Okay, so the next thing is, let's move on to primer. So I have two primers that I want to talk about. One of them I've heard a lot of people like rave about, and it's very well known, and the other one I've never heard. As far as I know, I don't remember ever hearing anyone talk about it. So we'll go ahead and start with the other one first. This is the one that I used today. So this is the e.l.f. Matte Putty Primer. So there's a matte one, there's just the original putty primer, and then there's the dewy putty primer. I've only ever tried the matte one, and I really like this one. It's supposed to be a dupe for like the Tatcha. I never tried the Tatcha. It's kind of similar if you've tried the Tarte Timeless Smoothing Primer. It's kind of something similar to that. This one's a little bit thinner than the Tarte one, I think. I think the Tarte one is a little bit thicker and almost a little bit more like silicone-y feeling. And this one is a little bit more almost like a lotion in a weird way. It's like a hard pressed lotion. That sounds like really weird, but it's very easy to rub in. I never have any problems with this peeling. It's super thin. It does a really great job at helping to control my oils but not making me look dry. There is some mattifying primers where they're just almost a little bit too matte to where it just kind of looks like dead and like super dry. So this one does not do that. It's still hydrating while being matte, if that makes sense. But yeah, it does a really great job at filling in the pores, keeping me matte, all that good stuff. I really like this one. I'm not going to talk about it for too long because at this point, if you're into makeup, you've probably heard of one of the putty primers. So yeah, I really like this one. Another primer that I really have been obsessed with is the L'Oreal Infallible Matte Lock Mattifying Primer. So this is just a sample. When I did my Ulta haul and bought a lot of drugstore makeup, they gave me this as a sample. I really like this primer. It is like a liquid. I don't know if you're going to see, but it comes out white, but it does turn into like clear, and it's super thin. When I first put it on, I was like, this is not going to do crap for my makeup or controlling my oils, because it just felt so thin, and I'm just so used to mattifying primers being really thick, especially like pore filling mattifying primers. So yeah, it felt really nice and lightweight on the skin. I never noticed a huge difference with my pores when I put on a mattifying primer, but once I put on the foundation, then that's when I really noticed like the pore filling effects of the primer. So of course that one does like the pore filling thing and everything, but this one I love for keeping my makeup on. Now granted, it has been like fall and winter since I have started using it, so we'll have to see in the summer if I'm still loving it as much as I am right now. But I have no complaints about this primer. It doesn't peel, it doesn't leave a weird film, it fills in the pores, and it keeps me matte for so long. I am definitely for the long wear claims. It does what it's supposed to, and it's such a good primer, and I don't know why no one's ever talked about it. I've never even really seen like L'Oreal talk about it. So now that we've done that, I have one foundation to talk about. So this is the Maybelline Super Stay Full Coverage Foundation. So this one is definitely not new. I've heard people talk about it. I've always heard like kind of mixed things, like it's good or it's just okay, it's not anything great, but I have really been liking it. Again, we'll have to see how it wears in the summer, but for the fall and winter time, I've been really liking it. I feel like it lasts really well on the skin. It looks really pretty. It is definitely a fuller coverage foundation, but I always do a little bit less just to keep it like that medium coverage. But you can definitely get super full glam with this if that's what you want to use it for. I really like this one. I want to try it in the summer just to see how it's going to wear, but as of now, it looks really nice on the skin, and I keep reaching for it when I am doing like fuller glam days. So yeah, I've been really loving this foundation. I've been reaching for it a lot, and I have mine in the shade 102 Fair Porcelain, which matches me really well. Okay, so the next thing is concealer. So I have one concealer that I have been obsessed with. This is the Covergirl True Blend Undercover Concealer in the shade Fair Porcelain. So I would definitely say out of all the drugstore concealers that I have tried, this one is the closest to like the Tarte Shape Tape. So it's a full coverage concealer with a matte finish. You do not need a lot of this concealer. A little goes a long way. To me, it actually reminds me a lot of the Makeup Forever Matte Velvet Skin Concealer. I don't know if you've tried that, but it kind of has like that thicker, moussier formula. And they both have like super full coverage, and this one is definitely matte, so if you have drier under eyes or drier skin, you might want to just kind of put an eye cream underneath it if you do want to try this concealer out. But if you have oily skin, you're going to love this concealer because it really helps to keep me mattified. I do put this in my T-zone, and I just do like a little bit underneath the eyes. Nothing crazy because, again, it is full coverage. But I have been reaching for this like every single day. I did use this one today. I didn't use this Maybelline foundation, by the way. I used the Makeup Revolution Conceal and Define foundation. But I have been loving this concealer. I am constantly reaching for it over my high-end concealer. So we'll go ahead and do the bronzer. So the bronzer that I have been loving from the drugstore and reaching for constantly is the Silky Matte Bronzing Powder, and mine is in the shade Sunlight 01. So what it looks like, I don't know if you can really see it, but I really like this one. It's just, the color is really nice. It's definitely a little bit more, leans a little bit more warm than what I normally use, but it doesn't show up on my skin super warm. I did use this today over top of a cream contour, so I just used like the tiniest little bit of it just to kind of set the cream products I had underneath. But I really love this bronzer. It's very similar to the Kylie ones or like the Fenty Beauty, where it has a pigment. I would say it's probably a little bit more pigmented than the Kylie and the Fenty, but it's still more of that buildable formula. So it's going to take a little bit to go overboard with this one unless you just like really went in. But the formula on this is so pretty. I feel like drugstore bronzers are some of the hardest things to find because I just feel like so many are powdery, chalky. They just end up looking patchy, muddy, like the colors are off, or they're all like super luminous and shimmery, and that is just not my vibe. I really like a matte bronzer, and I have been loving this one. So the next two things are blushes. So these are the Flower Beauty Flower Pot blushes, and I have the shade Sweet Pea, which is just like this pretty neutral pink. And then I have the shade Wild Rose. And then Wild Rose is definitely a little bit more vibrant. Super pretty for spring and summer. It's just like a really pretty cool toned pink. So I will swatch these. So these are obviously like heavy swatches. So it's going to be a little bit more heavy on the swatch than it will be on your face. Okay, so I have, what was it called? Sweet Pea is on the top and then Wild Rose is on the bottom. Super pretty, really pigmented. These are a matte blush, so again, if you don't really like matte blushes, then you probably aren't gonna love these, but I cannot stop reaching for these, especially Sweet Pea. Sweet Pea is just such a good neutral everyday pink. I feel like I'm just constantly reaching for this as like to mix them with other blushes or to wear on its own. I am wearing Sweet Pea today over top of a cream blush that I'm getting ready to talk about. I always heard Carly Bible constantly talk about these blushes, especially the shade Sweet Pea, so that's really what made me pick this one up. She raved about these for so long, so I finally picked these up. And I am obsessed with these. You used to be able to get Flower Beauty at Walmart. I don't know if you can still get Flower Beauty. Maybe it's only at select Walmarts. But you can definitely get Flower Beauty at Ulta. So yeah, I am obsessed with these. These are so nice, so smooth. They have a really good pigment. You can definitely go overboard with these, especially Wild Rose since it is so vibrant pink. But if you just use a light hand, so pretty. And then two more that are definitely very talked about. This is the e.l.f. Bites. What are these called? Well, the name is rubbed or came off on these, but I'm pretty sure these are the e.l.f. Bite Size Face Duo. So this is in the shade Guava. So Guava is definitely a little bit more vibrant. It's just like a very vibrant corally peach. And then we have Spiced Apple, which Spiced Apple is probably going to be the one that most people gravitate towards because it's a very warm, just like everyday peachy beige color. So we have Spiced Apple here, and then this one is Guava, right? Yeah. I'm going to swatch these for you. Again, these are going to be a little bit heavier. These are so buttery and creamy. Again, these are pretty pigmented too, so you could definitely go overboard with these, especially Guava. But yeah, so this one is Spiced Apple, and I kind of rubbed it in a little bit. And then that one is Guava. But these are just so nice. These are like $2 to $3 or something like that, so super affordable, and the formula on these are so nice. I do wish these were single just because I don't reach for the like highlighter part. They're too dark for me to use as a highlighter, but then I don't really like a luminous blush, so I won't use them as like a blush topper. But they are, wow, those shades are like almost identical, but they are super pretty and very pigmented and probably really pretty as a highlighter. Again, they're just way too deep for my skin tone. So which one was which? I think this one was from Spiced Apple. It's a little bit darker and a little bit bronzier. And then the top one is from the Guava one, which is just a little bit more peachy. So if you have deeper skin tone, you would probably really like those as highlighters. But on me, it's just a little bit too dark. But the blushes in these, I absolutely love and constantly reach for. And I just think it's such a bang for your buck. Okay, so I have some e.l.f. products to talk about. So the next thing is the e.l.f. Putty Blushes. I just feel like e.l.f. has been killing it for the past like year, 2 years. With their releases, they've really stepped it up. I will say they've gotten a little pricier, but still really great products. So these are the e.l.f. Putty Blushes. These have been going around a lot too. So we have the shade Bora Bora and Tahiti. I used Tahiti today, and then I topped it with that Flower Beauty blush. Ugh. But these are so nice. So this one is Tahiti. It's like a burnt, I don't know how you would describe it. It's almost like a burnt red, maybe. It's almost like that, what you would use for like that sunburnt look. And then I also have the shade Bora Bora, and this is just like a bubblegum pink. So let me see if I can swatch these. Okay, so that one is Tahiti and that one is Bora Bora. Obviously, they're not going to be that pigmented when you put them on because when they blend out, it's just going to be like a really nice flush of color. I'll go ahead and blend them out. So like as you can see, it's just a really nice flush of color, nothing crazy. I really like these blushes. I have like no complaints for these. They have a good amount of pigment, but they're not so pigmented that you go overboard, and they're just a nice formula. They are a matte blush, so you're not gonna get like that dewy look, but these are so pretty and just so affordable. I can't even remember exactly how much these are, but ever since I got them, I have been reaching for them constantly. They're very user friendly because it is a little bit harder to go overboard with these, and a lot of cream blushes, a lot of them can be very pigmented and very slippy in a way, and these just like, I don't know how to describe it. They just go on super easily. They blend really easily into the skin. They're really easy to work with. And I haven't tried it, but I have heard that these can go over powder. So if you've already set your face, you could probably use like a brush and just like lightly pat this on. And I've heard that it doesn't disturb or disrupt the makeup underneath. But I normally put on my cream blushes before I set, just in case, just in case it does disrupt. But yeah, I've been absolutely loving these, and I can't stop using them. They're just such a good, again, such a like bang for your buck. If you've been wanting to try cream blushes, but you don't want to spend an arm and a leg for a cream blush, or you just can't find one at the drugstore that is like a really good formula, try the e.l.f. ones. You won't regret it. And then I think all we have left is lips. Yeah. So I have quite a few glosses because I have just been into the glosses lately. So the first thing I want to talk about is the Maybelline, I don't know exactly what this one is called, but it's just the Maybelline Nude lipstick. So I have been obsessed with this lipstick. I am wearing this one with the gloss. Okay, so not the best swatch, but that lipstick is so pretty. It's just a really nice everyday nude. It does have pigment to it, but it's not super pigmented, and I kind of just like blot it on. But I like to blot on my lipsticks with liquid lipsticks, with just like regular bullet lipsticks. I don't really swipe them onto my lips very often. I just like to blot them on. But it's just such a nice sheer wash of color. If you like swipe it on, you could definitely really build up the color if you wanted to, or you can just blot it on for a nice sheer wash of color. But it's just so pretty. It does have a nice like creamy like sheen to it. So it's like wearing a lipstick but like hydrating. So it's not as like glossy and sheeny as if you were wearing a lip gloss, but it still gives that nice like hydration and glossiness to your lips. So if you have really dry lips, you'd probably really like this formula. So yeah, I've been really loving this one. I've been reaching it. I like to use it as like a topper over top of my other lipsticks or on its own. It's just one of my absolute favorites, and I can't believe I'm just now trying this lipstick out. And then the next one is like one of my absolute favorite lipsticks, maybe in general. So this is the e.l.f. Seriously Satin lipstick in the shade Cream. So this one is in a box because when I made my Ulta order, they sent me two. So I do have another one. But the only reason I don't have my other lipstick is because it is still in my purse. I wore it Saturday or Sunday, but I wore it this weekend, and I am constantly reaching for this lipstick. This one is like one of my favorites. It is like a satiny lipstick, like this name says. So it's matte, but it's not like a drying matte. It has a little bit of like a creamy finish to it, but it's nothing like the Maybelline one. The Maybelline lipstick is definitely a lot more sheeny. So yeah, I love this one. I love using it on its own or mixing it with another lipstick. So I'll put on a lipstick and kind of blot this in the center of it to lighten it up, or just add like a little pinkiness to it. I love this one. I haven't tried any other colors from this line. This is what it looks like right there. And I'm just gonna swatch it. Okay. So as you can see, it is a little bit more pinky, but it just really it just looks so pretty on the lips. It does have like a sheen to it. Again, nothing like the Maybelline one though. So yeah, I absolutely love this lipstick, and it's just one of my favorite lipsticks drugstore and high-end at the moment. And the last two things are glosses. So I have two glosses I've been loving. So the first one is the Maybelline Lifter Glosses. So this is the shade Ice. I have 4 of them. So I actually have 5 of them. I thought I only had 4. So some of them are a little bit more sheer with just like a light color, but they have like a lot of shimmer to them and a lot of sheen. And then there's some that are a little bit more pigmented and they have more of like a cream finish. Okay, so we have the shade Reef, right? And then we have the shade Silk, and then we have Stone, Moon, and then Ice. So Ice is the lightest. I will say I probably reach for Moon and Ice more because they are like that sheer shimmery lip gloss, but I still love this formula. They are very similar to the Fenty Beauty ones. I know a lot of people say that Moon is like the dupe for Fenty Beauty Fussy, which, let me actually look. So I don't know if you're gonna be able to tell, but this is the Maybelline one and the Fenty Beauty one. They are very, very similar. I would say maybe the Fenty Beauty one is like a little bit pinker, but I don't know. They are extremely similar. So if you've been wanting to try the Fenty Beauty Fussy one, or if you love it and you want to have a backup but you don't want to pay the money for the Fenty Beauty one, I would try Maybelline Moon. So I absolutely love these. These are just such a nice hydrating formula. They last really well on the lips. They look really pretty and juicy, and they're not like thick and goopy, like especially like the cream ones. Since they do have some more pigment to them and they're a little bit thicker than the sheer ones, they aren't goopy and like weird looking on the lips. They're just so nice. If you love the Fenty Beauty ones, I would try these out. They are very similar. So yeah, I really, really like those. Okay, and then the last thing I want to talk about is the Milani Keep It Full Nourishing Lip Plumper. So I have Natural Luster and Pink Quartz. I always want to call it Pink Champagne. So a lot of people compare these to the Buxom lip polishes, or the Buxom lip polishes and the lip creams. I think that's what they're called. Which, you know, I love the Buxom glosses. They just feel so minty and just nice on the lips. I just love that minty feeling. So this one is Pink Quartz and this one is a Natural Luster. I am wearing Natural Luster today. I probably could use a little more. But I'm wearing that over top of that Maybelline lip gloss or lipstick. I do really, really like these. I wouldn't say... They do kind of have like a minty scent, but they're definitely not, they're not like the Buxom ones. I don't really think these are that plumping. I just think they look really nice on the lips. I think they look really nice and juicy. I have been reaching for these a lot. They have a lot of colors. They all, as far as I know, a lot of them are pretty sheer with like a sheen and like shimmer to them. But yeah, I really, really like these. And I feel like this like Natural Luster is just such a like 90s, early 2000 color. But yeah, really, really like those. So yeah, I think that's everything I want to talk about. This is just all the drugstore makeup that I've been reaching for lately, that I've just been really loving the past couple months. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know some of your drugstore favorites that you've been reaching for a lot, or just some favorites in general. And yeah, I'll see you guys in my next video.